Today I found a new glitch to basically have more upgrades than you can possibly have. For example, in this shop, if you know, you can only have 2 strength, right? What if I told you you could have 3 strength per shop with a little bit of luck or upgrade manipulation? If you don't know what upgrade manipulation is, I have a video on my YouTube about it. Anyway, so for example here, if I wanted, I could have up to 7 stamina upgrades, which is kind of crazy considering you can only have 4 normally. The way it works is if you have 2 in the shop, right? It doesn't have to be there, like, but you know that in the background, it's still somewhere in the shop, right? You don't have it in the truck. And yeah, so basically, if I take 1 out and I reroll, there's a chance that 2 strength are gonna spawn back instead of only 1. I got unlucky, but I planned for this. So here, for example, I'm not getting lucky because there's a lot of things in my shop. But for example here, I use the same reroll that the game would use. I stumbled upon this accidentally while playing. So here, for example, I have 3 strength. You can't have more than that for upgrades that have 2. But for other upgrades, you can have 1 less than double the amount that you could have in the shop. So for example here, if I decide to buy a lot of different upgrades, let's say I leave 1 in the shop for everything, right? I want tumble, strength, range. I'll buy everything besides the stamina and strength because I want 1 in the shop. If I do this and then I leave, if I come back later, I'm gonna have different upgrades, right? I cannot have these again. So so now if I go in the shop again, I'm only gonna see 1 strength and I cannot have more than that. But here, if I do this again, where I just buy what I need, what I don't need, sorry. I'm gonna leave 1 crouch rest in there, for example. I'm gonna buy 1 health because I want 2 health because for the reroll purpose. I think it's better, but I could be wrong. If I buy this, for example, let me just give me some money. There you go. And now if I were to reroll the shop, let's say like this is legit, you know, I'm like level 7 or 8 or 9. Upgrade manipulation. So here I have 4 stamina. If I take 3 out and leave 1 in and reroll, I have a chance to get more stamina. So unlucky. And here I am lucky, but not too bad. Sorry for the foul alert. So here, for example, I got 5, so I could either reroll or have 5. As you can see, like I said, I was unlucky with the rerolls. So here, if I were, for example, to actually get lucky, I could have 4 more in the shop. Let's reroll until I get that. So see, I got 3 more. The way it works is basically, so it still thinks that there's the max amount in the shop, which is 4. So it still thinks that it can roll 4 because I left 1 in there. So this is actually very useful for early levels. For example, health. At level 1, you could just gamble, I don't know, re-rolling the shop with 1 of the item in there, and then I'll hope for 2 of them. So let's do like a simulation, right? I leave, I have, I don't know, like 27,000. I grew to level 1. I'm at level 2 right now, right? Let's take all the upgrades so they can all spawn in the shop. And then let's go. We are at level 2. And here you look at the shop. Let's see what it is. Okay. So, so I have 25k. I see 1 strength here. 8,000. And I could technically just take it out, reroll, and I could potentially get 2 more strength. With like a low amount roll, basically. If you have enough money, especially for health, since it's cheap, at the beginning, especially like a lot of strength. I took some strength and like some stuff, so that's why it's more expensive now. But if you're actually like no upgrades at all and do this, you could essentially roll a lot of like items that you would want, right? The only issue is that at the beginning there's a lot of possible upgrades. You can take the risk if you want. So here, health, I can just take 1 out since there's 2 and reroll, and I have a chance of getting 2 health. There you go. So now here I would have 3 health at like 4,000 or something at level 1, right? So it's a risk to take. Definitely can get more if you get a shop that has, for example, right off the bat 4 stamina. Since stamina are 2,000 each and there are 4 of them, you have a higher chance of rerolling into them if you like them. Or also crouch rest. You could technically have 5 crouch rest because there's 3, so you could go up to 5. So yeah, that's how this little exploit works. It does not work with anything that has only 1, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's gonna be pretty useful for my next challenges if it doesn't get fixed. But yeah, I kind of like this. I know it's gonna get fixed. I know it's not intended at all. But yeah. So anyways, I hope that you guys learn something and that it can be useful in your runs, because it's definitely gonna be useful in mine. The fact that you can just reroll and get more of the same upgrade is actually pretty nice. But yeah, that's about it for me. Wait, 28,000. Wait, hold on. I'm flipping this. 4,000, 44,000. Look at that. 44,000. Wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is rerolling is rerolling? Did I just